Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the Dais, a podcast about the stories taking place in and around El Paso County, Colorado. I'm your host, Scott Anderson, and today I am joined by Randi Davis, the Community Development Analyst for El Paso County. Also with us today are two representatives with Raymond James, Stacy Houston, the Vice President of the National Housing Group, and Mark O'Brien, the Managing Director of the National Housing Group. I'm glad all of you could join me today. How's everyone doing?
Great to be here. Thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for making the time today. I know that it's a very exciting time for you guys. We're setting up a conference in the other room right across the hall over here, so we're going to get to that in just a bit. But before we get started, I want to quickly add that if listeners are interested in more stories about people doing good in and around El Paso County, or hearing from county leadership about local government priorities and how they operate, you can find additional episodes of this podcast on your podcast platform of choice. But to get started today, Randi, I was wondering if we can start with you, and you can give some background about yourself here at El Paso County and share some of the responsibilities you have with the organization.
Hi there, Scott. My name's Randi Davis. I am a community development analyst with El Paso County, and I've been here at the county for about 2 years now, a little over 2 years, and my main job here is I am the staff person for the El Paso County Housing Authority. So as staff person, I get to help manage the program we're about to talk about and some other great housing programs throughout the county.
Very good. And then Stacy and Mark, I'm going to go to you two real quick. Can you tell me a little bit about Raymond James? I assume that's not a person individually. And then what the National Housing Group is.
Yeah, thank you, Scott. Mark O'Brien, Managing Director in the National Housing Group at Raymond James. Raymond James is a full-service, diversified financial services company that provides investments for folks all over the country and around the nation. What our housing group specifically does, though, is help state and local housing finance agencies, or HFAs, such as El Paso County Housing Authority, to provide programs for low and moderate income, mostly first-time homebuyer families, to achieve home ownership.
Very good. And then can you tell me a little bit about how the two of you guys came together? I know you said you work with organizations like El Paso County, but how did you guys connect, and how long have the two organizations been working together?
Yeah, that's a good question, Scott. The Raymond James has served as an investment banker on the single-family program side for El Paso County since 2003. Stacy joined our firm in National Housing Group in 2005. So we've been helping the good folks, the board and the staff at the Housing Authority for El Paso County since then. And we've helped a lot of low-mod first-time homebuyers and their lender participants to achieve the American dream of home ownership.
That's great. And then Stacy, before we started recording here, we were talking a little bit. You said you'd been with Raymond James for nearly 25 years. First of all, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
you.
Incredible.
Thanks.
I can't believe, it's hard to believe that people can stay with a company for that long anymore these days. I feel like it's mostly every 3 or 4 years people are trying to look for something different. But what has, led you to Raymond James? How have you been able to stay with them for so long? It's something I think a lot of people would be interested in. But then also, what connects you to the housing group, and why do you feel that it's something important for people to know about?
What's great about our company is that National Housing Group is within our public finance department. So we're kind of this other subset, and we specifically focus on housing, of course. But what's great about it is we have such a great team. We have a wide bench and lots of folks all over the country working on these types of programs. And we just have a great team. So I think that's really what's kept me around. Obviously, also working with great issuers and clients such as El Paso County Housing Authority. We get to travel around and meet wonderful people who are trying to do great things in their communities. So that is always a bonus, and it feels nice that you're being able to help people.
So one of the main things that I wanted to talk about today is the Pikes Peak Down Payment Assistance Program. All three of you are involved in that to one degree or another, so we'll go around and discuss how everyone is involved with it and how it can positively impact El Paso County residents. Randi, I want to start with you. Why don't you talk to me about the program?
So the Pikes Peak Down Payment Assistance Program, PPDPA, started off as the turnkey program back in the day, and it's been going since 2013. And it's a way for home buying families to get down payment assistance to buy their homes. So El Paso County Housing Authority is the sponsor for the PPDPA program. The funds come from the Housing Trust Fund that is managed by the Housing Authority. Not from taxpayer dollars. It comes from the Housing Trust Fund. managed through our office.
Very good. And then the folks here at Raymond James, how are you guys connected to this program specifically?
Yeah, thank you, Scott, for that question. We are the program administrator and the purchaser of the mortgages under the program. So we help El Paso County, as we've been doing since 2003, on single-family programs for low-mod first-time homebuyer families. In this case, we helped organize a program, present it to the county, the El Paso County Housing Authority, for approval. They sponsor the program, and we administer the program, review the loans, and purchase the resulting mortgage-backed securities and loans that get made here in El Paso County for your homebuyer families. So we're the investment banker and the financing agent, if you will, for the program.
And another way we also work with the program too, we work closely with the county on working with your area mortgage lenders and really trying to get those lenders involved in the program, so that way then we can have that outreach to those homebuyer families that are looking for a home.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things, so you said this started as the turnkey program. It has turned into what it is now. Are there differences between those two programs, or is it just a different name?
So there are very minor differences that have happened to the program over the years. For example, back in 2019, the program had to be redesigned just based on the economy and the housing market. And then even before that, it was redesigned, was called Turnkey Plus program. Just very minor changes that have happened over the years. When the program first began, it was a full grant for down payment assistance, and nobody had to worry about paying it back. But then we had to make changes to that, and it's something that happened across the entire country. It wasn't just us that had to do it. And it became a silent second mortgage that is attached to the property. But it's still fully forgiven, just like the grant was. Half of it is forgiven at 5 years and the rest of it at 30 years.
Okay. So if I am out there and purchasing a home and I go through this process, if I stay in that home, I assume there are probably requirements around it, like, you need to be consistently making your payments, you can't be going into default, things like that. But if I do that after 5 years, it sounds like half of that is forgiven. In a lot of the same way, maybe people would think of like a student loan can be forgiven if you work certain jobs. And then if you're in that or you make payments for 30 years, the second half of that is forgiven. Am I getting that correct?
That's correct. So they don't have to worry about paying it back.
Okay. Understood.
One thing I wanted to add, the reason why we're doing this big push today for the PPDPA relaunch, we have these great resources here from Raymond James. They're the gurus. They're the ones that know everything about this program. They're the ones that I talk to all the time to get my information. So I just learned something new.
Very good. Yeah, I've already learned a ton just sitting here in the last 5 minutes that I've been here so far. So one of the things that I've seen on some down payment assistance programs in the past is that there are qualifiers around, you can only be a first-time home buyer if you're buying your second or third home or whatever the case is. A lot of programs may not apply. So that's one thing I wanted to ask you about as well. You had mentioned that you need to be in the home to be doing this. So is it safe to assume that this doesn't apply, like if this is like if you're renting out the property, or if this is an investment type property, it doesn't apply to those type of properties? So if you could both maybe speak to some of those things.
Sure. Yeah, it does have to be the primary residence for the buyer purchasing the home. It does have to be the primary residence. So it cannot be a vacation home or a rental property. We want this to be the home that the family is living in.
Okay. And then do you have to be a first-time home buyer to take advantage of this specific program, or anytime you're a home buyer and this is your primary residence, you can take advantage of this?
That's a great question. You do not have to be a first-time home buyer to purchase a home with this program. Actually, the majority of the borrowers that are using the program, over 99% of them are first-time home buyers.
Oh, wow.
But it is nice that is not a requirement for borrowers coming into the market looking at a home here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main requirement is the income limit. Under a traditional bond program that El Paso County used to do, it was income limit, purchase price limit, first-time home buyer. Under the turnkey program, then the Turnkey Plus, now Pikes Peak DPA, the only limit is income limit for the home buyer. It need not be a first-time home buyer, although most are, as Stacy said. but the income limit for an FHA or a VA or a USDA-RD loan is $162,960, so about $163,000 if their annual income, family income is that or less. They qualify for the program. They go to Pikes Peak DPA, get in touch with a participating mortgage lender under the program, and they're off to the races.
Okay, and probably safe to assume that there is a list of all these mortgage lenders that are available on, you said there was a specific website?
PikesPeakDPA.com.
PikesPeakDPA.com. Great. And list to get information about what those qualifications are, who those lenders are, and other eligibility requirements. Are there other pieces to the PPDPA program outside of, it sounded like there was a 5%, up to 5% in down payment assistance. Are there other pieces to that?
For the relaunch, we have also started what we're calling the Hometown Heroes Incentive. That is where if the borrower or co-borrower is a hometown hero, so first responder, in the medical field, teachers, there's all sorts of veterans, military status, all sorts of different categories under hometown heroes. If they can qualify under that with where they're working, then they get a 1% grant on top of the down payment assistance that they've chosen. That is a grant. It does not have to be paid back.
Yeah, and I will add that the list is very long. They've been quite generous with who could qualify under that Hometown Heroes initiative. So really, I mean, it could be the bus driver, the librarian, a dentist, a nurse. It really is a nice long list. Active military, they just have to be employed full-time.
And I might add too, Scott, that working through their participating mortgage lender, the homebuyer family who's looking at the Pikes Peak DPA program can choose to have 0%, just low rate loan without down payment assistance, or 2%, 3%, 4%, or 5% down payment assistance, depending on what their needs are. And the mortgage rate is a little different based on each of those. And they can either get a government loan through their lender, it's FHA, VA, or USDA-RD, or a Freddie Mac eligible conventional loan. All 30-year fixed rate loans with the down payment assistance, partially forgivable second mortgage associated with them.
One of the questions I get a lot about the PPDPA program is how do I apply? Mm-hmm. And we do not have any application process through the county at all. You have to go through a lender for that. So it's the exact same loan application that you fill out to get the main mortgage. That's how you get your down payment assistance as well.
Okay, and so someone like me, who I moved here about 6 years ago, didn't know that this program existed. I honestly probably failed to do enough research, and that's definitely on me. But for people who may be new to the region, who may not be as familiar with the home buying process, I think it's really easy to think in your head, oh, I bank with this bank, let me go to them and I'll get a mortgage loan to help pay for my home, right? What process do you think you could help teach them to help them understand where they can go for these types of resources, because they exist out there, and we're ready to help out, but if you don't know about it, you can't get the help, right? So what would you say about that?
I used to be a housing counselor, so I know the perfect answer to that question.
Oh, wonderful.
I recommend that when you're out there searching for a home loan, you shop with 3 different lenders, do your shopping around, so a bank, a credit union, and a mortgage company. Make sure you hit each of those bases. Try to keep your shopping around to that 2-week window so it only hits your credit once. But make sure you're getting the best loan for your situation. You're not shopping for a lender, you're shopping for a loan. So shop around at least 3 different places to do that.
And I will add on that, we have over 56 approved companies to use this program. So it should be a nice long list that borrowers or potential borrowers have access to. So all of that is on the consumer website on that PikesPeakDPA.com. It's all there, and borrowers can go there to research all of this information as well.
Right, and just by way of history, what the county's been able to help folks over the last 12 years since Pikes Peak DPA program has been in existence, they've assisted over 2,800 families here in El Paso County, including Colorado Springs, $579 million in mortgage funds, and over $23 million in down payment assistance. So it's quite a long and well-worn track record of success for El Paso County Housing Authority in providing this resource to its lender partners and to homebuyer families here in El Paso County.
Yeah, absolutely. And Randy, one of the things that you mentioned that I didn't know about, you said that if you are searching around in order to protect your credit, you want to make sure that you do all that research within 2 weeks' time. Did I hear you right?
Correct.
Okay, that is something I never knew. You go car shopping, you go shopping for anything. One of the things that me as a consumer are very cognizant about is those hits to your credit. You definitely don't want to be doing that over and over again. But if you do it within a 2-week time period, it only hits once?
Yes. It's 3 to 4 weeks for a couple of the credit agencies, but for one of them, it's only 2 weeks. So just to be safe, try to keep your shopping around to that 2-week window.
Yeah, we're learning all sorts of things around here. That is actually really valuable information. So thank you for sharing that. Is there anything else about the down payment assistance program specifically that we haven't talked about yet that you want to make sure we share?
Well, you might hear a bunch of different names, right? PPTPA, Turnkey, Turnkey Plus. It's all the same program. And as we've mentioned earlier, there's certain nuances to it. But as Mark shared, the program has been around for many, many years, since 2013. We were doing bond programs through the county before that. So the county has been very involved in this space for several decades now. So you may hear all these different program names and acronyms. Just know that the Housing Authority is doing what they can to stay with the different market changes and really trying to put the best product out there that they can for potential homebuyers within El Paso County.
And that the homebuyers can find their lender through pikespeakdpa.com, the participating lenders, 59 of them, who can help a low-mod first-time homebuyer family get into a home.
That's great. So this has been a lot of our conversation about the down payment assistance program, but I do know that there are other tools that exist within the county that can help people looking for housing of different kinds. Randy, I'm going to turn to you for this since you are with the county. What other options are available to people who are looking for housing?
Thank you. So the El Paso County Housing Authority also has housing trust fund loans that they make to developers to build affordable housing. We call that affordable housing subsidized housing because when they have assistance like that to build the property, then they have to rent at least a portion of it to low to moderate income families. So it's subsidized. And I have a map on the county website that shows all of the subsidized properties I'm aware of throughout the county. And you can actually go to that map and sort it out based on your needs. If you're a senior and you need senior housing, or if you're a family, you need family housing. You can do all that sorting in there. You can also click on the properties in whatever part of the county you would like to live and pull up the information. I can't tell you if there's any open units at any of those properties. I don't know that level of information, but you can click on that and get a website to go visit to find out more information, and it's also got the phone number so you can call and ask them yourselves.
And those, of course, are rental properties, not home ownership opportunities.
That's a fantastic tool, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know with the last time we talked, we brought it up. How long has that tool been in existence here?
A good 6 months now.
About 6 months. What sort of feedback have you received about the tool so far?
There's lots of agencies that are using that tool just for their clients. It's been really helpful for a lot of agencies around town.
That's great. Before we close out here, I did want to give everyone the opportunity to add anything else that you think would be important for listeners to know. Again, it could be about something we've already talked about, maybe some other programs that are available that we haven't shared yet. But we'll start. This is a podcast saying we're going to start on my left isn't going to mean anything to anyone listening, but to my left is Stacy. So Stacy, let's start with you.
I just really want to make sure borrowers are aware of this Hometown Heroes incentive. It's such a fantastic opportunity. Obviously, as we discussed, the borrower is already getting down payment assistance by using the program, but those folks that do qualify, those first responders, those school employees, healthcare professionals, veterans, active military, so many people qualify or can qualify for that additional 1% assistance that is in a grant. So that part will never be paid back. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. I think it's great that the county is putting that out there for borrowers in the area, really trying to help local families. And so I really hope people are able to take advantage of that.
And I would just add, Scott, what a pleasure and privilege it's been for Raymond James to have served El Paso County Housing Authority over the last 20 years plus, and we're excited about these recent changes to the Pikes Peak DPA program and hope that the listeners who are in a position to look at home ownership might go to pikespeakdpa.com and see if this program can help them.
I just want everybody to go to the Pikes Peak DPA.com website. It's good for lenders, realtors, home buyers. Everybody can get information off of that website.
Yeah, and on that note, I might also add for realtors, if realtors, we're saying a lot about lenders here. Lenders can get information on how to participate there or contact me or Randy. But also for realtors, they can become a certified approved realtors for the program. So they can also go to this same pikespeakdpa.com website that we're talking about and go on there and take a training. And then they're able to be listed as an approved realtor on that site. And that just offers more marketing opportunities for them as well. So we haven't forgotten the realtors here.
No, nor the home builders.
Great. Well, I really appreciate everyone taking your time to be here and to talk about this today. It's really hard, surprisingly, to get 4 people into a room talking about stuff. So thank you for making the time. I know you guys are visiting here from Dallas area, yeah. Right? So thank you for coming out and doing this for the residents here in El Paso County. As somebody who, again, I'm a homeowner, I'm a resident here, knowing about these programs is incredible. It's hard to believe that some of these programs even exist. I mean, to think that I could have, if I would have known about it, got an extra 5% assistance for down payment is crazy, and just such a blessing to be able to take advantage of programs like that. So thank you for all that you do. Randy, thank you for all that you do to help facilitate all of that. And again, really appreciate you guys taking the time today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, Scott.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
If you are interested in listening to additional episodes of Beyond the Dais, be sure to look for us on Podbean or wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.